Good morning or good afternoon to everybody. Selamat datang, which is welcome in Malaysia, in Malay language. So when I got a call from British Council to share something about TNE, my first question is, should I share something good about TNE or something bad about TNE? Are we supposed to promote TNE? So of course we know there are, pros and cons of TNE. And today I represent University of Nottingham, Malaysia. And I'm not saying how well we are doing. And again, all TNE are with challenges and also with benefits. So what I'm going to share with you really is about how are we doing and, some of the history and where are we now and what do we plan to do in the future. Before that, I will just show about a minute and 30 seconds, the usual promotion video about the university. So can I have that, please? Thank you.
The very best of a British education in Malaysia. The University of Nottingham established the first UK overseas campus anywhere in the world in Malaysia. The University of Nottingham, Malaysia is thriving, delivering a world-class British education to 5,000 students every year and recently celebrated its 10,000th graduate. Recognised globally, we are once again pushing the boundaries of global higher education with new initiatives that enable our world-renowned academics to reach out into ASEAN and beyond, with groundbreaking programme partnerships in Singapore, Laos, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. With 5-star ratings for our teaching and research quality, we offer one of the highest graduate employment rates in Malaysia, with around 90% of graduates employed or in further study. Our research is having a real-world impact, with key strengths in food security, health and the environment. We connect world-class research expertise in Malaysia and the UK to address the challenges facing Southeast Asia. For a truly global university, experience the University of Nottingham, Malaysia.
So a short video clip sort of illustrates where we were and who we have become for the past 18 years. So can I have the official slide? So University of Nottingham, Malaysia has been in Malaysia for the past 18 years now. We have been celebrating, this year we are celebrating our 18 years anniversary in Malaysia. And it has been very challenging. This is the... Okay, right, technical error, sorry. All right, so this is a usual graduation ceremony that we have twice a year in the University of Nottingham, and that's our provost, Professor Graham Candle. So we do the same thing like the UK, and we believe that together is all the 3 campuses in Malaysia, China, and the UK, we can achieve a lot more. Right. So Nottingham, again, has been here for about 18 years. So we normally promote the best of both, so the best of the West and best of the East. So we are top 100 ranked university based on QS ranking. And in Malaysia, we are also ranked separately by Setara that focus more on the T&L quality in Malaysia. And currently, we have about 5,000 students. And out of the 5,000 students, about 85 students are from 85 different nationalities. So in fact, in Nottingham, Malaysia, our percentage of international students is higher than Nottingham, UK. We have about 30% to about 35% of international students, where in the UK it's about 25%. So I would say the positioning and in both 3 campuses, China, UK, and Malaysia, is different. We are just different. But as a whole, we can do a lot more. I will share a bit more. So usually our pride is our trend building in the UK. But you could see China has copied pretty much exactly the same. Malaysia applies a bit of creativity. So we have the same trend building. For students who walk into the University of Nottingham, they step into the trend building, no matter where you are, Nottingham, Malaysia, China, or UK. We have lakes and ducks. I mean, in the UK we have swan, but Malaysia we have ducks. Right, so some of the history, why are we there, who invited us, and so on. So of course, Nottingham has a really long established university for about 400 years, offering good education. And for Nottingham, Malaysia, again, I think many of you share that it's all relationship and connection, really. So one of our alumni who used to be the ex-prime minister and also ex-education minister invited us and asked if we are interested to set up the very first branch campus in Malaysia. It's a very bold move because we are the first one who have done that. But I think without a strong vision of the senior leadership, that proposal probably would be denied in the very first instance. But Nottingham, I have always believed in transnational internationalization. So we pick up the idea and we start to do a bit more studies about it, and bang, there you go. We started our first cohort in year 2000, and thereon. So we have been growing since then. So some of the really old picture I'd like to show you. So this is in 2004 when we started to build the campus. And December 2004 and 2005. So it took us about, I think, 9 months to build the current campus. And of course, we started stage by stage with limited funding. So we have different phases in the university before it is where it is now. So it is about 130 acres of land. And we have 3 faculties and about 20-odd schools. Okay, so why? To answer some of Stephen's question, why do we want to do it? It's because in the UK we felt it's getting a lot more stressful. The landscape has been very stressful. With or without us thinking about it, people are already doing transnational, and with or without us liking it, we have mobility students going anywhere in the world. People are learning through mobile, so it's just you can't not do it, really. Whether you're doing it or not, everyone else is doing it. And we also realize, again, why Malaysia? It's because connection and because we think it's a good place to start. And also, we would like to provide more opportunity for students who can't afford a UK education. And why not? Doing a course in Malaysia, in China, it's about 40% of the actual fee if you do it in UK. So UK charge, I think, a normal undergrad 20k pounds a year to about 22k, depending on the courses. In Malaysia, Malaysia and China, we charge about 7,000 pounds a year to 8,000 pounds a year. Of course, it's awarded by Nottingham, UK, because there is only one awarding body by the University of Nottingham. So I've shared this. So how do we start? So like now, I think in Thailand, it's encouraged by the government that you can start thinking about doing transnational with a lot more support from the industry or from the government. And in Malaysia, it's the same. In year 2000, we launched the 2020 vision is to make Malaysia an educational hub. And since then, we see the opportunity, we went ahead, we grabbed it, and we built it. So the concept of an initial university setup is really, we want to provide a UK-style education. Again, this is what we want. Yeah, it may not be what eventually happened on campus. So we want to introduce what is a UK style in the summer, brilliant weather. And we want to promote Nottingham experience. So when we step in, no matter where you are in China and UK, it is Nottingham. We're talking about the same vision, the same principle in life, and the same way to run the university. And we want to be a research-active university. So in Malaysia, we are not a stranger to all sort of T&E. We have franchise program, validated program, any sort of partnership. But most of them initially, in year 2000, they are not research active. But as Nottingham, we want to be research active from the beginning when we start the campus. So that's about. Therefore, we have make it and prioritize our research, and we will need to physically pump in funding and actively reach out to different type of research fundings that is available. Example like Newton, example like EU, example in the local government partnership, local government research funding. It is very challenging because, like in the local context, of course, the government would like to give more to the government university. In Malaysia, University of Nottingham is a brand as a private institution, so we are self-sustainable, and I think easily about 99% of our university revenue come from student recruitment. So students basically pay for the university and grow the university based on the fee. We don't get any subsidies or fundings from the government nor the UK government. Yeah. So the entire context of running the University of Nottingham is very different as compared with our colleague who, when they first run, in Nottingham, UK. And some of the wonderful, yes, 5 minutes, all right, thank you. Right, some of the wonderful things that happen in Nottingham, Malaysia is, I think without building that in Malaysia, we probably won't be able to achieve it. Some of it include, we have this Crops for the Future Research Center that we have achieved about 35 million funding, partially from the government and partially from EU. What do? We actually research on the unutilized crops in Malaysia. And that is a great opportunity because we need the weather in Malaysia to grow some of the crops that we're focusing on. But it doesn't stop in Malaysia because what we were doing, or what we are doing now, is to study what type of crops in the world is available and how many % we have utilized them. And to my shocking, I mean, we are only utilizing 5% of the type of crops that is available in the world due to many reasons. And that is scary because what if the 5% runs out? So we need to look at what other crops that we can use to feed ourselves instead of the maize and the wheat and the rice that we are currently taking. There are a lot more other alternatives and options. So with that, we actually work with some of the farmers in Africa. So once we identify these are really resilient crops and it will grow and it's cheap to grow, and we actually work with some of the farmers in Africa to try out whether this works. So it doesn't really stop in the UK or Malaysia. And because of the connection we have in Malaysia or the location that we have in Malaysia, we can go a lot more further. And another project that we recently landed this year is to work with the Bangladesh World Bank project. I think it was, how many millions? So 25 million funding by World Bank Bangladesh. So it's to train about, sorry, I didn't memorize my script. It's to train about 8,000 teachers and policymakers in Bangladesh, in Malaysia, Nottingham, and eventually to fill the gap of 2,700 vacancy in HE in Bangladesh. So again, this is another project that is run, initiated, led by University of Nottingham, Malaysia, working with Bangladesh government. And again, it's a unique collaboration that is formed because we are Nottingham and because we are Nottingham in Malaysia. Right, and you would know why, because of the costing will not make sense if you run it in the UK, but in Asia. Right. Okay, so it's just a quick glance of, in Nottingham, Malaysia, who are our students and what the population like. So I've shared we have about 5,000 students and about 30% of them are international students coming from 85 different countries. In terms of student recruitment, all three campuses has very different KPI, priorities, because our strengths and our weaknesses are different. It's three different products, really. However, it doesn't stop us from collaboration because all our Nottingham students, no matter where you are, you have an option to do an exchange program in your year 2 or year 3 in all the other 3 campuses. And that also encourages students to think differently because they no longer think I'm a Nottingham UK student, but I also know that Nottingham is in Malaysia and they are a lot more culturally sensitive, and it is just a very interesting chemistry when you have 3 campuses in 3 different locations. And we also have this mini Olympics that we run every year called Tri-Campus Game, where we will fly our students, no matter where you're from, 3 campuses, to do a sport game in one of the campus. So I think last year we won as a Tri-Campus champion. That's brilliant for us. It's a pride, internal pride that we always run. So it is a really nice environment, and also our students get to experience China or UK or Malaysia without having additional fee, that's really because it's an exchange. So you pay your current fee in your home campus, and you get to travel to another campus without additional fee, but you bear only the living expenses. So, of course, I mean, you will be able to calculate, all these are costs on university. But if we committed, we want to do T&E, I think T&E is not free, you know. T&E costs a lot. It costs on resources, it costs on actual dollar and cents. But if we think this is what we want to achieve and this is our priority, we can't expect it to be free. So it's painful because I think some of us share administrative is a cost, training our staff to think globally is a cost, having the infrastructure to support this initiative is also a cost. So it ought to be part of your priority in the university if this is where you're going for. Sorry, I don't know whether you can see that. So we have a big range of programs available from social sciences, business, communication, and science like biomedical, pharmacy, engineering. So it's a good range of programs in Nottingham, Malaysia, as well as Nottingham, China. So this is just some glimpse of the university facts. Our staff-student ratio is about 16.4. We complied to all the regulation in Nottingham, UK, in terms of quality manual, and also another pain is we also need to comply with regulation in Malaysia, and sometimes both regulation doesn't match, and you know they may be a conflict of each other. So some of the challenges is the university will stuck in between and have to force QA and MQA, which is Malaysia quality assurance, to sit together with each other and have the conversation started rolling because they may not agree with each other. And that's a ministry issue that they have to solve. But as a university who operates in between, it's quite challenging and it's difficult. But now we have a bigger family now. I think in Malaysia we have about 5 universities. So we have Reading, Hereford, we have Newcastle, and a few more joining us now. So it's a bigger family, so bigger bargaining power. So we would sometimes negotiate with the government to make our pain less. You know, it's a regulation compliance. So I think really, this is some of the key challenges. I know, I get it. So these are some of the key challenges that we are facing now in terms of like local government. This is really painful because thinking that, okay, I'm Nottingham, I'm top ranked university, you don't read me like, you know, I am a tuition center, but sometimes they do. So they will, you know, like we'll comply with some of the regulation that as though we are importing some illegal human trafficking students because we are being viewed as such, you know, you have to comply with all these regulation. But, you know, all this policy is without flaws, you know. In order to comply, we have to go through a lot of painful documentation, paper processes to make it work. So sometimes it is very painful. Even with a big name and a reputation, you may not get an easy way out. You still have to comply just like any other institution. So future. So we think this is working for us, and of course it is not without challenges. There are a lot of issues that we are still trying to solve, but I think we are doing it right. And as and when there are challenges, we will solve it, you know, bit by bit. So I think that's it. That's the end of my presentation, and I hope I'm on time. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think we have time for one question from the floor. If you have any comments, maybe questions, please. There is one question back there.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Because you mentioned about some key challenges of establishing a foreign campus in Malaysia for us, for Thai people. I would like to know if you could share just one key point that you think that for example, for the Thai government, if they really want to establish a foreign campus in Thailand, you think of what they have to think of? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think it still go back to what Stephen and say. Ask yourself, why do you need it? Like, because the priority, they're so great. I mean, do you want it to grow your student experience? Do you want it to grow your research? Or what do you need it for? So from there on, you define your priority and grow with it. But again, T&E is not free. So if you've decided to set your priority, you better make sure you have a series of support staff ready, because every day is a fight. I mean, because we are operating outside of our norm. You know, this is not UK or this is Malaysia, but we are operating in a UK style. So I think it is, once you have defined your priority, you have to make sure you have a good support staff, and these vision need to be shared across the university. I think somebody asked a question before, who is the right person to speak to if you want to get any engagement, partnership in the university? I mean, the right answer for T&E is every single person that you speak to in the university should be able to lead you to the right person. That's when you have the right vision shared across. But again, it's without challenges, because everybody will have their own agenda. Oh, it's too costly. Or I'm good enough within my school, I don't need to expand. But it has to be from top, share across all these benefits to have a T&E and decide that this is where you want to go, and we will face all the challenges and solve all the question or issue bit by bit. Yeah. All right.
Thank you very much, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Pleasure
much.
to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.